The walking corpse. 2 o'clock in the morning. The wooden wall clock in the kitchen was silent, leaving only the sound of cool air stirring the stillness. Adisak rolled over and grabbed the mobile phone resting on the floor beside the bed. He was awakened by the familiar habit of a middle-aged man. The front page news alert on the application flashed. Tragedy! Young man in the city falls from a 3-story building and dies instantly. Suspected accident. Adisak scrolled through the details without much interest until his eyes widened at the sight of the name and face of Wira, a younger relative from the countryside who had been staying with him temporarily. Wira only just arrived yesterday, and he's still sleeping in the living room, Adisak thought, the words cycling through his mind. How could this be? He tried to peer through the darkness toward the slightly ajar bedroom door. A slow, heavy dragging sound, creak, creak, came from the hallway. The old floorboards groaned in a slow, heavy rhythm. Then, a shadow appeared at the edge of the bedroom doorway. It was a familiar figure in a faded white crewneck t-shirt. Wira? Adisak whispered the name. The figure moved slowly into the room. Wira's eyes stared directly at Adisak, but they were empty, devoid of the spark of a living person, just as the news had described a dead man. Wira, the news on my phone said you fell to your death in Bangkok. Adisak gathered his courage and spoke. Wira's body stood still, blinked slowly, and then began to laugh. A dry, rasping sound, like coarse sandpaper grinding against itself. Ha ha ha. Do you really believe it, Adisak? These days, the news is full of nothing but lies, Wira slurred. Even that story about me falling to my death is a fabrication. Adisak remembered his younger relative. Wira was always very serious about his work, but when he drank, his voice would get sharp, and he wouldn't listen to anyone. Then Wira spoke the kind of truth only a serious man would reveal. The truth is, my coworker murdered me during a drinking session in the 3rd-floor apartment. Then, he threw my body down below to cover up the crime. Suddenly, a foul stench, like damp, rotting animal carcass, permeated the room. The pale figure of Wira began to show visible signs of decay. He slowly turned his back on his older relative. The figure stepped and vanished into the darkness of the hallway, just before the soft orange light of the breaking dawn began